This is chef and knife. Let's start this video with same equipment review because few months back bought this meat hammer, right? This one from Amazon. It's a cheap meat hammer, right? I was testing it before doing a review on this. I was testing that can I use a cheap variety of meat hammer for home cooking, right? To see that a normal home cook can use a normal way of meat hammer, not expensive, not a heavy one. It's a very lightweight and very cheap hammer. Cost me around $4 for this hammer, right? So one thing I learned from this hammer, as my review goes, it's not the best hammer you can buy, and it's not the worst hammer you can buy, because there are some bad areas which is very hard to use this hammer. Because for this you can use this for your poultry and your beef and pork, but you can use this cause yeah, it's not best variety, but it will do your work. It will do your work because it will tender your meat, right? And it's a good alternative of expensive meat hammers. It will do the same thing, but not exact same thing which a good meat hammer does. But it will save your time if you're a home cook, right? Professional kitchen, I'm not sure that it can be a good meat hammer, because over there we have a different types of meat, but home, you know what I'm trying to explain you, right? So there are different levels of using a meat hammer. From this one, it's not that easy or not the best way to use it, but yeah, it's a good cheap meat hammer, good for your poultry and beef, right? To tenderize your beef, a good hammer. And you can flat your chicken and poultry and beef, even your pigeon, right? Not pigeon, sorry, my bad, not pigeon, but hardy meat, right? You can use this hammer for your hard meat to make it make it more tender. And you can flat a meat with this hammer also. Yeah, I have used this hammer to tenderize meat. And one thing I learned from this hammer, that you can't use this hammer on mincing a meat, right? A good chunk of meat, you can't hammer this to make it more mincier. I was trying to use this knife to mince my meat, and found it's not very helpful to mincing. I was checking that can I flat a big amount of chunk of roast meat, but I feel it's good for small kind of product, not too big. If you have a big chunk of meat, this hammer will be not a good useful on big chunk of steak. But small kind of meat can be used. You can use this hammer. But if you are in professional kitchen, right, not a good choice to buy a cheap hammer. Then you need a good hammer for using it in professional area. And most of the thing, I just want to say, if you want to buy this kind of hammer, there are lots of hammer in market for your meat and poultry, and some are very expensive, some are very cheap, and some are middle hammer. If you want to go for a cheap one, you can have this one. Same, this one good for home, but not good for professional kitchen, right? Because over there are different size of meat, and poetry will be a different ideology. So good for home use, and not too expensive, but yeah, easy to clean, easy to maintain. You don't need to sharp it, right? You just need to polish, you just need to clean it and use it again. So just a small normal review, that if you want to buy a meat hammer, you can buy an expensive meat hammer, or you can buy a cheap meat hammer. So depends to you. From my point of view, don't buy a expensive meat hammer if you are not cooking at a professional area. If you are at home, it's go to meat hammer, because you have a small amount of work to do with this kind of hammer. So if you are a home cook, don't say that I'm going to buy a high carbon or stainless steel or high maintenance steel for my hammer. Normal cheap hammer can be used for meat sections or poultry sections. Before I finish my video, I just want to say that thank you for watching my channel, guys, and yeah, have a lovely day, guys. Thank you for watching my channel, and thank you for giving me. And if you need to say anything, right, sorry, if you need to say anything, you can search my email on my profile. If you want to ask me anything, just free to connect with me. And if you are new to this channel, please subscribe. This is Chef and Knife. Thank you very much.